Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a seriously heartwarming journey. We're going to look at the exact steps it takes to transform a super energetic golden retriever puppy, his name is Rocky, into a perfect, polite companion. We'll be breaking down the specific methods used by a professional dog trainer named Mike and extracting all the actionable lessons from their week together. So if you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by a new pet, or if you're just fascinated by animal behavior, you're absolutely in the right place. Let's get right into it. 7. Yep, just 7 days. Now, you might be wondering, can you really transform a bouncing, energetic puppy into a polite companion in just a week? It sounds almost impossible, right? Especially when you think about the chewing, the jumping, and the literally endless puppy energy. But with the right framework, a single week is actually exactly enough time to lay a rock-solid foundation for a lifetime of good behavior. To see how Mike pulls this off, we're going to track Rocky's progress over a pretty fast-paced timeline. We'll cover the basics on days 1 and 2, graduate to movement on days 3 and 4, introduce some heavy distractions on days 5 and 6, and hit full mastery on day 7. Okay, let's start with phase 1, welcome home and covering the basics. The moment Mike brings Rocky home to the suburbs, the learning begins right away. To teach those early foundational commands like sit and stay, Mike definitely doesn't rely on force or yelling. Nope, he uses a highly specific, repeatable sequence. First, he introduces a treat to capture Rocky's focus. Then he gives a clear command. And finally, the very second Rocky complies, Mike rewards him with lots of praise and hugs. It's a structured loop. Rocky quickly figures out that doing what Mike asks means good things are going to happen. And because Mike is so consistent with this, Rocky learns to sit almost immediately. The secret sauce holding all this together is positive reinforcement, basically rewarding a dog with treats and affection when they do the right thing to speed up their learning. Now, when Mike introduces the stay command in the living room, Rocky really struggles to remain still. I mean, it's tough for a puppy, but Mike doesn't get frustrated. He just leans into extreme patience, giving affection and treats until the pup finally nails it. By rewarding the good instead of punishing the bad, Mike creates this incredibly safe space where Rocky actually wants to participate. And by day 2, we're already seeing the payoff. They move the training out to the backyard, where Mike brings in the come command. Because Rocky already associates Mike's voice with all those awesome rewards, he happily sprints across the yard the second he hears his name. This isn't even just about obedience anymore. Earning that close-up affection is rapidly cementing a really strong emotional bond between trainer and dog. Moving right along to the next phase, movement and leash training. Now, days 3 and 4 really illustrate a learning curve that every dog owner out there knows all too well. The stakes are much higher because they're finally tackling public training. At first, Rocky is super excited, pulling and struggling against the leash at the park. But Mike sticks to that same patient routine we saw in the living room, and eventually that struggle turns into a huge success. Rocky learns to walk calmly right by Mike's side. It's such a noticeable transformation that polite onlookers even start giving them approving smiles. Back at home, they keep applying these commands to real-world situations. Mike teaches Rocky some totally crucial impulse control by having him sit calmly when neighbors arrive, rather than letting him jump all over visitors. This is a massive milestone. It proves that the sit command wasn't just some cute party trick. It's the actual building block for having a safe, polite companion who knows how to interact with people in the community. To wrap up the movement phase on day 4, Mike introduces the down command. Rocky successfully learns to lie down to earn his treat, which shows a really big leap in his focus. He's no longer just reacting to every little thing in his environment, he is actively listening to Mike and controlling his own body. And that sets the stage perfectly for the toughest challenges yet. Which brings us to our third major milestone, boundaries and impulse control. On day 5, it's no longer just about following basic instructions. It is about actively ignoring intense distractions. Mike literally introduces extreme puppy temptations on purpose. He places highly desirable toys and treats right on the floor to teach the leave it command. I mean, it takes immense willpower for a golden retriever puppy to ignore a treat staring them right in the face. But when Rocky manages to ignore the temptation, his reward shifts from just a piece of food to a super fun, engaging game of fetch. This teaches Rocky that exercising impulse control actually unlocks much better, more interactive rewards. Then, day 6 hits and Rocky faces the ultimate test. The local park is practically a minefield of distractions. We're talking about other dogs making up 40% of the chaos, plus fast-moving squirrels and flapping birds making up the rest of it. But get this, because of the step-by-step foundation Mike built over the last 5 days, Rocky doesn't bark his head off. He stays completely calm around the wildlife, and when he greets other dogs, he behaves gently and socializes happily. The impulse control is working absolutely beautifully.
And that leads us straight into our final phase, the perfect friend in Day 7 mastery.
It all comes down to this one day. Sit, stay, come, down, leave it. On his final day of training, Rocky flawlessly executes his entire repertoire of commands right out in the open park. He isn't just surviving the distractions anymore, he is thriving in them. His behavior is so reliable and gentle that local kids are actually able to safely walk up and pet him. This right here is the ultimate goal of dog training, making sure the animal is safe, happy, and confident out in human society. The whole journey concludes at a lake with a beautiful golden sunset. Mike, looking incredibly proud, gives Rocky a big hug and places a well-earned Best Boy medal right on his collar. It's such a great testament to the deep bond they've forged, not through dominance or force, but through a full week of structured, loving communication. As the saying goes, patience, love, and training create a perfect friend. This completely hits the nail on the head regarding why all of this matters. A well-behaved dog isn't born overnight, and there are definitely no magic shortcuts. It takes deliberate effort, a whole lot of affection, and total consistency. But the payoff for that 7-day investment? It's a companion who brings joy not just to your life, but literally to everyone they meet. So, knowing what we know now about Mike and Rocky's awesome journey, from basic positive reinforcement all the way to mastering impulse control in a crowded park, what do you think? Which command will you teach your dog first? Will you start easy with sit, or are you going to jump right into the deep end with leave it? Think about how you could apply a little bit of Mike's patience to your own learning goals. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.